welcome to the Parenting versus Podcast.
And then the sirens go.
Yep. So we're back in the Brillis Podcasting Guild headquarters.
HQ
here at the B Rupee.
There's literally no noise until we started recording, and now there's sirens behind us. This is so typical.
Well, it's our fault. We're soundproofing this room, but we have the window open. So we're not soundproofing it. Fellow podcasters and guild members, John and Gio, Gio is a podcaster. John is just a soundproofing master and
John is
musician and recording expert. All the above.
Ninja.
Soundproofing ninja. But yeah, they're working on getting the soundproofing going in this room, soundproofing panels, and making it so that there's not so much echo and things sound good in here. So we're grateful for them.
Slow progress. It's a slow roll. So we're back, like we said. It's been a full 2 weeks of school for our kids, and we decided to leave public school and start homeschooling.
Yeah.
Which I never thought I would say out loud ever in my life.
Yeah, I didn't either. But
to
here we are.
Answer your questions, no, we are not Mormon. No, we
fundamentalists.
We are not fundamentalists. We are not homesteaders. We are teaching our kids actual science. Our curriculum is not faith-based.
Nope. And we do believe in the public education system, but maybe not during COVID, I guess. I don't know. We were at our limit.
It's a little shaky. A little shaky right now. Our kindergartner was in front of a computer from like 8 to 2, and it was really hard to actually feel like we were getting much of anything done at all. So we're going to try this. We're going to be flexible. We're going to see what happens, and we'll let you know.
Yeah.
So far, so good, I feel like.
Yeah. All right. So Riley, our 5-year-old kindergartner, and Luke, our 8-year-old third grader, both at different times were crying and complaining that this was too hard and they weren't learning anything. They said, I don't know. And I'm not the one usually to give up on something. I usually want to stick something out. I want to go, what?
This is completely unrelated.
Okay.
Go
ahead and change the subject. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. My friend Kelly sent me a text message just now. And I looked at it and she said, I was looking at an old journal, random blurbs and one-liners, but this is what I found. And it says, Lindsay is the face of Irish cream. Okay. I'm like, well, good.
Cool.
Could be worse.
She has very nice handwriting.
She does. Yeah.
So yeah, this was there was some tension, I think, even in our marriage.
Oh, yeah.
Because of this.
Big time.
You, from day maybe 2 or 3, were like, this is dumb. I want to homeschool. And as a teacher, I'm thinking like, oh, our teachers, they deserve a little bit more credit. Like, let's see what happens.
But it's not the teacher's fault. It's the system's fault. The teachers have been, at least in Albuquerque, have been put into this system that is really not well planned or thought out. And then on top of that, they extended the system that doesn't exist until January. So everybody's scrambling. It's like a giant shit show. Like, welcome to the circus. Nobody knows what's supposed to happen. It's all trial and error. And I understand it's got to be frustrating for the teachers as well as parents and students. But I think at this point, you just have to look at your own family and your own dynamic.
Right.
And I love teachers. The teachers that our kids were assigned to are great.
Yeah.
Just as far as our family schedule goes, like, we had to make some changes because it just wasn't working, especially with 3 kids.
Yeah. So we disagreed, like, pretty heavily. We disagreed.
There were some arguments. Yeah.
And that was hard. That was hard just to, I still don't think that we know where that balance is. Like, if we both disagree on something, what do we do? Because we both kind of dig our heels in.
Murder.
And then, I mean, that's one way to handle things. Then we'll be on a different type of podcast after that.
Then we'll be on a true crime podcast, and we all know you guys love those.
Then we'll be on True Consequences.
Yeah, that's right, Eric.
Oh.
You might hear from us later in a different capacity.
Hopefully not.
Come and see me in prison.
Yep. I think usually what happens is I end up just caving, because I'm usually wrong anyway, so I usually cave. Like, I caved on, I didn't want our daughter to go to in-person school. I caved on that. I dug my heels in, then I caved. And then I didn't want our kids to...
You're making me look like a real bitch here.
No, I'm not trying to. I
mean, kind of.
I just said I was wrong, so... because it was hard to have our kids be on this, like, intense online schedule as I'm trying to teach, and like, you're not exactly loving life in the morning.
No.
So
I think, too, just for our family dynamic, like, our kids, they're up early, yes, good for them, but they're not, like, awake and ready to, like, engage in actual school until probably 8:30 or 9 o'clock.
yeah.
And they were having to get on the computer around 8, which isn't terrible, but when you start that early, you can't expect them to be on until 2 and be, like, fully participating. It's just a lot. And the parents, too. I mean, it was like Lorenzo scrambling to get our 8-year-old on his computer, and then us scrambling to get our 5-year-old on, and then I had to sit there with our 5-year-old the entire time and, like, push the button, unpush the button, mute the mic, unmute the mic, raise your hand, no, sit down, don't get up and play with your toy, you know.
Right. And then Luke, our 8-year-old, would try to escape as I'm in the middle of so we're in our bedroom.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to teach my class. You know,
Lorenzo
I'm live.
and our 8-year-old are in the bedroom working.
Yeah, we're in the bedroom. I'm trying to teach a class on Google Meet. Luke is bored to tears because his teacher is, like, reading him a book or, like, teaching them, like, some math thing, or teaching them about, you know, who knows, like, what's the thing? Like short I sounds and long I sounds and long E sounds, and he's just like, I don't care about this. I'm never gonna need this. And I'm like, you know what? Like, you're probably right, because I am 37 years old and I don't know the difference between a short I and a long I, or a long E and a short E, but I still know how to spell and I still know how to say words,
right?
Except for maybe pillow.
I'm not having that conversation today.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Hello.
Yeah.
7-Eleven.
He's trying to escape our room, and
or
I'm
it's like, I have to go to the bathroom. I need a break. I'm hungry. I need a snack. I'm like, you literally don't need a snack. You just ate breakfast. Like, you're just full of crap right now.
But I don't blame him. It was it was boring. Like
what am
what is this for?
I was bored, and I was like sitting here like, if I'm bored, my kindergartner is definitely bored.
Yeah.
And then we have a 4-year-old who's running around like, help me, entertain me. What am I supposed to do? Can I watch TV? And you're like, no, because there's a computer in here, and your brother has to do kindergarten. So sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So it's nuts.
But we've come up with a loose demographic. Whoa, that's not the word I was looking for. We've come up with a loose structure, and it works for us. And so that's what we're doing. And I feel like 2020 can go fuck itself. And honestly, I think we're all learning by trial and error. I don't think there's a right way at this point. We're all going to come out a little weirder, a little more flexible. So it's fine.
Yeah.
And I was watching a documentary the other day about parents that unschool their kids. And I was like, if they can legally get away with unschooling their children in America, we're fine.
What is unschooling?
It's, you know what? I mean, I'm going to sound like a total bitch. This is the episode where I sound like a bitch, everybody.
No, I mean, what is unschooling? It's like you don't have
I'm going to find a definition for you because I don't think I can, without bias, say it.
Okay.
It's basically where, unschooling in New Mexico. There's curriculum. Okay, interesting. Okay, so unschooling is a form of homeschooling, which is the education of children at home rather than in a school. It involves teaching children based on their interests rather than a set of curriculum. So it's child-led. But what I was watching was like this family. They were in Southern California, and at least in the perspective I got from them, they just looked lazy. The parents just looked like they did not want to do anything. And so they were like, we're unschooling. And it was like the kids were like, I want to learn about buildings, so I'm going to play Legos all day. I want to learn about dinosaurs. I'm going to look at dinosaurs and play dinosaur games on the computer all day. It's basically like the child decides what they want to learn about, and they do that.
I think that could be good if it's structured.
Right.
And if there's like a rounded sort of education, and like a work ethic is one thing that you learn in education too. But I think our kids would want to study Minecraft on the Xbox.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is, like, the way they were doing it, it was basically just like, our kids just kind of do whatever they want, and it's learn, and then they just would call it learning. And I'm like, that's not how that works. Also, like, you're the adult and the parent, and you do have knowledge and skills that you need to teach your kids because they don't have those things yet. You know, self-regulation, how to research, how to write, how to read, how to do math, practical skills, you know, and they had one child who had autism. And I can understand like the benefits of like maybe that sort of structure at home for him if they had like specialists and stuff maybe coming in and out or doing something that had to do with his autism, like helping him. But really he was kind of just on his own. And I was like, that poor kid, like he's not getting any guidance, you know,
Right.
or any specialized like needs met. So that was a little bit annoying. So I don't know, maybe there's other people out there that are unschooling that are doing it and doing it well. I would love to see an example because I'm curious. Probably not what I would do, but that's me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to know more about this too. I mean, I get it that there's a lot of things that you can do like in real world scenarios where you're allowing kids to be kids and they're exploring, they're finding out, you know, they're learning these scientific topics or like physics and biology and like all the sciences they're learning hands-on. And that's kind of how I learned a lot, just hands-on and exploring and testing things out and, you know.
Well, and I think you can learn that way. I guess my question would be like, how are you setting them up for success as an adult in a career-based world where they're going to maybe want to go to college? Do they have the skills to even go to college?
Yeah, that's important.
If they want to.
Yeah.
And they may not want to. I don't know. And then also, you know, how are you... Because there's going to be a deficit. With a child's interests, there's always going to be a deficit unless you guide it along with them, you know? Like, I hate math. If my parents were like, we're going to unschool you and you can learn about whatever you want, I never would have done math, period, ever. So I would not have math skills, not even basic ones, because I hate math that much.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do things sometimes that you're not great at or things that you don't want to.
You
it's
learn
good for you.
You learn how to get these things done. Like math, I don't think I've ever really been excellent at math. I've just got really good at using my tools.
Right.
Like I can't do a lot of math like in my head.
Right.
Like mental math, that was a practice.
The worst.
People like we did that. I was a geometry teacher briefly.
Like, oh, you mean torture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teaching math kind of is not fun. But every morning the co-teacher, she would do like a mental math thing. So she would tell them like, oh, it's 17 minus 4 times 48 or like whatever. And I'm like, dude, you lost me. But some of the kids would get it. And I'm like, oh, mental math for me is not a good thing. Like I'll just tell Siri or Google like, hey, what is this? And they'll tell me back what the answer it is. And I'm good with that.
Okay, I want to see somebody make a movie. And I want it to be about a math teacher. And I want it to be like his life is super boring and mundane on the outside. And I want him to be played by either Will Ferrell or Luke Wilson. Just saying. Wait, no. Owen Wilson. Wow.
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 Wow. Anyway, and I want them to have like this like magically amazing like inner like imaginative life. I mean, I know movies like this have been done, but I want to see it done in this context.
Okay.
I want to see it done, but I want to see it done like Napoleon Dynamite style, the way it's filmed. So I just want
so
that
like
to happen.
during the day he's teaching, you know, mental math equations, and at night he's a sex machine or something.
I mean, something like he's got some weird like secret, but it has to be a secret quirk. Like you wouldn't know it, like looking at him, and like you would have no idea. And no, I don't want it to be a freaking love story. I hate movies like that. They're like, oh, this poor guy's so boring. He's never gonna get a lady. And then it's like, oh, I'm quirky. Look at us, we're in quirky love. And it's like, no.
What was that movie? She's All That.
I don't know.
Where the nerdy girl took her glasses off and she's all of a sudden cool.
That's like a 2000s thing.
Yeah.
Like every girl that's nerdy and then turns hot has glasses in the beginning, and then she takes her glasses off and they're like, whoa, she's so hot. And you're like, really? You couldn't have imagined her without her glasses before? Like
before she was wearing a sweater and like she
makes
had
her like a completely different person.
she had her hair up in a bun and she had dorky glasses.
Because that's how it works. If you wear glasses and then you take them off, you're
well,
like
the tables have turned
bombshell.
now because now that's hot.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so
I want this movie should take place in the 90s, and that's what should happen. Maybe he should take his glasses off. And when he's living in his fantasy world, he's not wearing glasses. He's like a totally different person. What you drinking there, friend?
I'm drinking a barreled treasure Imperial Stout from whoever bought these. here at the Guild.
Made by Odell.
Yeah, made by Odell, Colorado.
By the way, if you guys want to donate anything to the Podcasters Guild here in Albuquerque, we could really use a mini fridge. So, you know, if you have one laying around,
there's a GoFundMe.
There is a GoFundMe, actually.
It's linked somewhere.
It's linked out there. That would help us.
I'll put it in the show notes.
That'd be appreciated.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Yeah. Appreciated. I'm not even drinking. I'm drinking water. So
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We just want our podcasters here at the Guild to be taken care of, and we want them to have beer. That's
nice and
priority.
sauced up so they can give you some good
We
content.
want to get them nice and sauced so they can have some really good recording and some really great content for you to listen to.
Yeah.
So there you go. There you have it.
Yeah. So what else is going on? The weather?
You want to talk about that? Because
No.
it's going to get weird this week.
Do you want to lose subscribers?
I mean, I feel like this week's supposed to be like a weather conundrum.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Is that the right word?
I don't know.
No, it's the weather. Yeah, it's like really hot today, and then on Wednesday
It's hot as balls.
There's hot balls all over the place.
It's also Labor Day.
And on Wednesday it's supposed to get super cold. So that's the story.
No, but okay, but what you read me the other day was like
Oh yeah.
It was like
Whoever
funny.
whoever wrote the weather statement from the National Weather Service, because I'm one of those guys that reads weather statements. They were it was a good little blurb, you know.
Maybe the sequel to this movie or the next installation could be the guy's a weather guy, right? Mm-hmm. Same idea though. Maybe he's like, but he's actually a fantasy author but he goes under a pen name so nobody knows it's him. And he writes these amazing blurbs like, it's going to feel as hot as July, and then in with the night comes January and all of its cold, fierce force. Because that's exactly what this guy like wrote. It was like some crazy, eloquently put like poetic ode to the change of weather that's coming.
He just took the writing liberty. Like this dude minored in English or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he just like needed a creative outlet.
Majored in meteorology and then minored in like creative writing.
They're like, all right, Stan, go ahead and make it funky.
It's like, yes.
I've been waiting for this forever. Oh my God.
Anyway, yeah. So
there's
the
that.
weather.
And now it gets quiet.
Yeah, it does. So I don't know. It's life is life, and we're getting through it. Man, I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore.
What? Say it.
Oh no, I'm just paying attention to you drink water.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's weird. I'll try not to do that near you.
Don't worry about it.
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. So I don't know. We were talking about topics for this podcast because we never have anything planned out. And our, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We just kind of talk, and I don't know. I'm not really making any sense
So-
right now. So if you have a topic, like,
Well,
bring
I
it
was
up.
I wanted to bring up that show we were watching last night because it was like interesting to me and also friggin' terrifying. Like we watched this show called Alone, that you wanted to watch. Mm-hmm. You're not interested in this?
No, the show's good.
Do you want to explain the premise?
Sure. Let's talk about shows.
My own nightmare. Here, we're gonna drop you off in the where were they? In the Arctic? No,
In the Arctic, yeah.
the Arctic, alone, and you can have like a few supplies, and you have to live for months alone. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh hell no, I would never do that. That looks terrible. And people are getting so into it though.
Yeah, we've been watching a lot of shows, a lot of movies. We've been just trying to survive and try not to murder each other and try not to murder children.
Whoa,
Not like literally murder children. Like I'm never going to murder a child.
that's good.
I don't even think I had to say that. But like life, I think that like just parenting and this age and marriage, it's not a cakewalk. And sometimes it can fucking suck. Sorry, parents, if you just heard that. I always apologize for saying bad words. But
I think other parents know how much it can.
but
fucking
it
suck.
sucks. Like sometimes me and you can't be in the same room with each other.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes we can't
Thanks,
be in
COVID, for
we
that
can't be
too.
in the same room with our kids. And And I'm just going to be honest, like sometimes parenting is not fun, and sometimes marriage sometimes just straight up sucks and blows, and I like sometimes you just don't want to be married anymore. And it's just awful, but like it gets better. Like and then you make up and you're like, oh, I feel better now. But then it's just hard, you know?
Yeah.
And parenting is hard, and marriage is hard.
It's hard.
And
it's harder during COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's no outlets
Probably.
that like really allow
this
the necessary.
It's just life.
Yeah.
Like this is no longer like new to us. The coronavirus is no longer new. This is just life. Like this is normal. Like, and we have to accept that this is the way it's going to be until like there's a widely distributed vaccine.
I feel like 2020 has been like that though. It's like it started out in this hole, right? Like you're sitting in this giant hole and you're like looking up like, okay, someone help me out of this hole. Like we're all sitting there in this big hole, and then slowly like 2020 just keeps throwing bricks at you from above, and you're like sitting in a hole, and each time you start to climb up a little bit, you get hit in the head with a brick.
Yeah. Well, that's when you just have to accept that, okay, yeah, I can't go out in public like I used to. I have to wear a mask. Yes, I can't breathe with a mask. It's harder to breathe with a mask. I have to do this. Yes, I'm stuck in the house with my family like the whole time. Sure.
Yes, I have to homeschool. Yes, my kid has ADHD that just was diagnosed last week.
Socializing with friends has completely changed. But you have to accept that. Like we're March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Like this is like the way things are now.
I understand that. I guess it's just frustrating because I feel like for a lot of people, it's not just COVID. Like COVID has opened up these like wounds and these deficits and these weak spots and blind spots in people that like are irreparable, and they have lasting damage. Like you can't, like I mentioned, like our son was diagnosed with ADHD during all of this, like a couple weeks ago. And so that's like a new journey for us, like that we're on during this, which is like, okay, all right. Okay, then. So we're working that out, you know, I mean, our rent went up a little bit. That's frustrating. I mean, I just feel like there's all these little things coming at us that normally maybe wouldn't affect us as much. And for whatever reason right now, they feel really heavy.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I think even if we had more freedom to be with friends and to, you know, maybe hang out in restaurants or whatever it is that we're missing out on now because of coronavirus, I still think that having little kids and being in your late 30s and still trying to figure out like I need to be able to like better myself, better my life, find out who I am, find out what my faith is, find out like all these other things, and trying to reconcile that with your spouse, and then at the same time like being a parent to these kids who are high energy because they're kids is one of the hardest things I think that anybody will ever go through. Mm-hmm. And it's no surprise to me that I mean, I love you no matter what. Like, I want you to know that, like, I love you.
Even though you're a raging bitch, I love you.
Just hear me. I love you, but it is hard.
Yeah.
Like,
right back at you, pal.
And there are days when I think both of us want to give up, and I think we've even said that to each other, like that we want to give up. But for me, I'm like, my tenacity is like strong. I want to keep going. I want to get through this. And I know that my kids aren't going to be wild I mean, they might be wild, but they're not going to be little like this forever. They're not going to be chasing each other or screaming at each other.
Sleeping in our bed every mother effing night.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, dude, I can't. I'm sorry.
I know that it gets better, and I know this because I have an 8-year-old, and I know that, like, I've seen the progress in him. He doesn't pee in his bed anymore. You know, he's potty trained for the most part, even though I'm still teaching them how to aim.
Thanks for that, because I can't do it. I mean,
I know that my daughter's not gonna sleepwalk into my bed at 2 a.m. every single night at some point.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be a time when I'm gonna want to hold my daughter, and I'm not going to be able to because she's not going to want to, or she's going to have, someday she's going to grow up and she'll be an adult, and maybe she'll find a partner, and she's not going to need my love like she needs it now anymore, So it's hard to appreciate those things, and it's hard to be outside of now and the frustration that now brings.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep,
I do.
So even though right now sometimes I'm just like, man, this sucks so much. Like, why can't my house just be peaceful? And why can't I get along with my wife like right now? Even though like I'm getting along with you now, like it just, and I know it's gonna get better, and I hope that other parents can see that too.
Yeah,
because
it's hard when you have the blinders on and you're just like in that moment where you can only see what right in front of you, and you're just like, and it's a struggle.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's really hard.
I hope that we're stronger too than like our circumstance, and I hope that we can weather this crazy storm that is COVID and parenting small children, because I know that there's probably a lot of marriages that haven't made it, and maybe some marriages that are in trouble now. And I think that, man, I don't even know what to say about that, but if there's like abuse or whatever, like, yeah, get the hell out of there.
Well, they've been saying that, domestic violence is on the rise right now because it's being reported more because people are home with each. I'm sorry, my necklace is making noise. Because people are home with each other and they're on each other's nerves and they're done. But I feel like we just have to find different ways to vent and different ways to balance ourselves. You've been doing a lot of running, which is good, going out and running. I need to get back on an exercise routine. I've really let that slip. I think with our schedule changing and stuff, I've just let that fall. But yeah, I think that we all have a responsibility to figure out how to balance and how to make life work right now, with the knowledge that we could be thrown another curveball at any minute. And that's the only consistency right now is inconsistency. Like, that's it.
Yeah. I just wish that in marriage, more couples could turn that energy towards like wanting to like strangle each other into like supporting each other, and realizing that we are in the same boat. And instead of like mutiny, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we should support and maybe use some teamwork, and like at the core, I know that we love each other. Like, there's some times when like right at that moment, like I'm like, fuck that lady. Like, I don't like her. Yeah. She's mean to me. She said something mean to me. I don't want this. But then
you're mean to me. You're so mean. I'm sorry.
I could use the language that I'm really thinking, but I think I'm gonna not.
That's a good
I just
choice.
wish that the energy could be channeled towards like supporting each other, and like that is so hard though. Like,
well, I think even the things that make us like grow together too, like even things that are simple, like, going on a family trip or like a family vacation has kind of been stifled. And like for me, I know that like our family, when we do that, it's kind of like a reset for us. Like when we take our kids somewhere or we do something like that as a family, we sort of reset and we learn how to like deal with each other a little bit better. It might be rocky at first, but then we get to that point where we're like a well-oiled machine, like last summer, and we can't even do that now.
That was, I worried about that trip, but we did fine. We did good. But I thought for sure, you
were going to come back a divorced man.
I didn't know what was going to happen. Being in the car and like, because like an hour drive to Santa Fe sometimes was difficult. Yeah. And I thought across the country would be super hard, but we got through it, and we only had one child fall into a cactus, but we got through it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We also, I think the hard part too about all this is the frustrations are magnified, like we mentioned, but the gap between men and women and like daily dynamics have kind of been brought to the surface. And what I mean by that is like, you can hear me tell you something like, hey, this really frustrates me. This always happens. This is like, when you're at work and the kids are home and this is always happening, and I get frustrated and I tell you about it. Right. But now you're home too. And so it's like this extra layer of like, this is happening and why aren't you helping me deal with this? Or maybe you're not aware, or maybe, now there's a power struggle because both parents are trying to deal with it. And so there's like this whole extra layer of stuff.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's funny that you brought that up. I watched a video from, I think it was Veritasium. One of my favorite YouTubers, Veritasium, this guy, he just talks about science stuff. But he was talking about, what was he talking about? He was talking about couples, and they surveyed some couples about like what percentage of the work that you thought that you did on the daily.
Yeah.
And whatever the wife and the husband both reported, how much percentage of the housework they did, if you added up those together, it came up to like 250%, or it was like more than 100%.
Right.
I mean, 250, that doesn't make sense, but like it was more than 100%.
Right.
So it should add up to 100, because like either I'm doing 50-50 or you're doing 70-30 or whatever. But they thought that they were doing more than what they thought they did, and they thought that the spouse was doing less than the spouse was doing, because the only perspective that you can see, you're only looking through your eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not looking through your husband's eyes or your wife's eyes. You don't see what they're doing.
Well, you're also only looking at your own checklist and thinking, damn, this is exhausting. You're not like looking at your checklist and your spouse's and being like, oh, they might be tired too because they've done all of these things. It's like, well, but I did all of this today and I'm tired, so F you because you didn't do all this. But in reality, they probably did a bunch of things too that you aren't seeing or you're not aware of, or, you're not giving them necessarily like the due credit for.
Right.
So it is, it's kind of crazy.
Right. But you think you're doing more than what you're actually doing, and you think the other person is doing less than what they're doing. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. But I don't know, if you have a chance to watch that Veritasium video, I'll link that in the show notes as well.
Do you ever actually link stuff?
I do.
I would never remember.
I link your Twitter. I link my Twitter. I link our website.
Nobody ever looks at my Twitter. It's so funny. I can say like
people do.
anything I want.
You can look at
read it.
People look at your Twitter. I guarantee
it's so bad.
Sometimes
I take out my anger on Twitter. It's like I'm sure a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, fuck you, Trump. Like,
because you can just shout into the void, and nobody's going to really hear
this here.
Yeah.
Like, it's displaced. I just need to put it somewhere.
Yeah. Because on Facebook, it'll definitely get a reaction, but Twitter, like, it's more anonymous, I guess, even though it's not.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always just like,
I kind of feel that
really
too.
Angry rants, and I'm just like, good God. I probably look like the worst person ever. So bad.
You're fine.
So I did want to mention something kind of exciting, and I'm going to sound like a total dweeb.
Do you want to pause first?
Sure.
Since we don't have children, we need to have one break at least.
Oh yeah, let's do a beer break.
You want a beer?
I think I do.
Okay. Let's take a pause, a beer pause, parenting beer pause.
Beer me.
All right. We'll be back. Okay, so you were talking about something dweeby.
Oh, yeah. I feel like we've reached a very important parent milestone.
Okay.
We officially have traded our Pilot, our Honda Pilot, and we are getting a new car. I mean, it's used, but it's a new used car. And it's smaller. Like, we're past the SUV minivan phase, I feel like, and I am so grateful and so happy.
Yeah.
Like, finally.
Yeah, we traded in a smaller car of yours to get it was a Honda Pilot 2.0 2009. Had the third row. Like we were watching our nephew.
Well, here's the thing. The conundrum with babies and kids is that when you have one kid, sometimes you need a bigger car because you have to haul the stroller and the pack and play and all the kids' stuff and the car seat. And
there's a lot of gear when it comes to being a parent.
Yeah. And so sometimes when you have your first kid, you upgrade. But it's almost a definite, like when you have your second kid, if you don't have a bigger car, you're going to get one. Like, so you should factor in a new car when you're going to have a second baby because it's almost like inevitable.
Yeah.
And so we got pregnant with Riley and we were like, okay, I had a Kia.
It's like a Kia small SUV.
Sorento.
Yeah.
And that was a great car. It was great. It was good. A little tight with 2 kids and all the gear.
Had Bluetooth.
But it worked. It worked for 2 kids. So then...
It was nice. It had tint. Was quiet.
It was like, I loved my Kia Sorento actually for 2 kids. It was a great car. So then after we found out we were pregnant with Juliet, we were like, okay.
Well, I think we could have made it work, but we were wondering like, at the time I had a 2005 Toyota Corolla,
right.
and I managed to fit three car seats in
that
my
was
Corolla.
Like a freaking miracle.
But it was tight.
Yeah.
It was really tight, and I had a hard time closing the doors, and it was...
Well, I think also with kids, you're like, okay, I want to spread it out, because they're going to be, like, kicking each other and touching each other, like, all this stuff. Yeah. And then we were watching my nephew for a summer, too, like, while I was pregnant with my daughter. And so we were like, okay, like, we're going to have a car that's, like, an SUV or a van, something with a third row, to carry kids plus gear and all that stuff. So we got our Honda Pilot, and it's been good to us. I mean, I really actually, really have enjoyed having our Pilot, for the amount of kids and just stuff that we've done with it. I think it was a good car. And it's not a minivan, so that felt good too. Yeah. But we're going to get a Prius.
Yeah.
Crazy. Going
from 16 to 17 miles per gallon to 52 miles per gallon.
I feel like that's a paycheck.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. And, our kids are old enough to where they can sit. We have a booster, a normal seatbelt, and a car seat, and everybody will fit in there.
Yeah.
No strollers, none of that. But yeah, so we used Carvana, and it'll be interesting to see.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. It'll be interesting to see how that process goes. They're going to pick up my Pilot on Wednesday and apparently bring a Prius. So
yeah.
I'm excited.
On the cold day. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. So, I mean,
it's not a Tesla, but
little changes like
moving
that.
on up, right?
Little changes.
I feel like it's a graduation. It's like those parent perks. Like when your kids are all out of diapers, like that's a parent perk.
Yeah.
When your kids all are done with formula, parent perk.
Right. When your kids are all in school. Oh wait, coronavirus.
Oh, just kidding. Just joking. Yeah, that was supposed to be this year.
Not gonna happen, universe said.
So we'll trade the kids not being in school for a smaller car. I feel like it's time for one of those parent perks. Because all 3 kids were supposed to be in school this year, and that is not a thing. Now we're homeschooling, which is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So what else is good? I mean, I don't know. There's not. I mean, I'm just glad to have some time with you, I guess, right now. I know I kind of spewed about how hard marriage is, because it's, what I think though? I think that you have to be honest with that. You have to be
Absolutely.
forthcoming with your thoughts, your feelings, and you have to be honest with yourself, with your spouse. And marriage is not a cakewalk.
No. I wish it was.
I think it's worth it.
But...
I think it's worth it. Like I do. Like I'm not. If I wasn't married to you right now, if we were no longer married, would my life be better? If I ask myself that, that's a scary question to ask yourself too. I truthfully think that no. I love Lindsay, and it's not like for any other reason other than just like I love. I mean, I don't know. Is this too personal?
I don't care. Go ahead.
Okay.
We're getting into the nitty-gritty, guys. It's that time.
Yeah. I don't know. It's worth it to me. Like I want to stick this out, and I don't want to be too sappy, but like
Sap it up.
I want to know, like, man, I got through that, like, parenting struggle, and like, we're walking on the Oregon coast, like, barefoot, you know, with our kids, like, raised well. What's that?
I don't know. I heard somebody else say.
Like, I want to know that. I want to know that, like, I raised my kids well. I want to know that I was honest with my kids with struggles and hardships, and letting them know, like, yeah, like, I mean, life's not easy. And life sometimes can suck, kids. But you have the tools to figure things out, and not just make things better for yourself, but make things better for other people. Like, that's what I want to teach my kids.
For sure.
So I want to walk on I don't know, like, there's a sun, like, I have this, like, vision. It's kind of weird.
Tell me.
It's, like, cool. We're walking south on the Oregon coast. The sand is wet. Like, the sun's going down. It's kind of cloudy. And we're just, like, holding hands. Our hair's gray, you know?
That sounds like a good vision to me. That's exactly what my vision would be too.
And just knowing that...
But mine, I'd have a cup of coffee in my hand.
Yeah.
It'd be warm.
Me too. I'll probably have a whiskey.
Coffee stout. Hey, you can throw whiskey in your coffee. Even better.
But just knowing that, like, I didn't give up. You know?
Well, I think that that's part of parenting, and part of marriage is, like, growing together instead of apart. And, like, people forget that. Like, or people, I mean, I shouldn't even say forget. People, well, sometimes they do, but when people first get married or they go on this journey, like, they don't realize that it's not just, like just love is not going to get you through everything. Excuse me. Like, even burps. You still love me, right? Love is great, and it is helpful, but it's, and to unquote the Beatles, it is not all you need.
Well, you're quoting them.
Quote unquote.
That was the last episode.
I'm unbeatling the Beatles. Actually, side note. Your daughter and I laid in her bed the other night.
Yeah, we heard it.
Yeah, we watched the Beatles, and she was, like, all about it, and I was like...
She was wearing her Beatles shirt.
I was like, this is the best.
The boys were jealous.
Yeah.
Like, Riley, or Luke was like, why does Juju get to listen to the Beatles?
No, we were watching the final performance on the rooftop, and she was just, like, amazed.
Yeah.
And it was such a cool feeling to be able to, like, share that with my kid.
Yeah.
But... No, I think that you have to remember that this is, like, marriage is always a work in progress. You've never arrived. Like, you've never, like, had it all figured out. You've never gotten to the point where you're like, well, I have nothing left to learn. I'm going to be happily married for the rest of my life. Like, it's always something you're working on. And so if you look at it as, like, not a job necessarily, but, like, a project that you're always trying to improve on, it'll make it a little bit more tolerable and easy and doable. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I had to say. I was going to side note back really quick, though. If you guys want to watch that documentary, it was an episode of Our America with Lisa Ling.
What documentary?
About the parenting.
Oh.
It's called Extreme Parenting. And it was, yeah, so the topic was extreme parenting, and it was an episode of Our America with Lisa Ling. It's on YouTube. You can find the whole thing there.
Here, you can text me that link, and I'll link it in the show notes.
Okay. Yeah, because it's like intense, and there's actually a mom on there that I just, like, want to punch really hard. She puts her kids in pageants, and I'm like, don't do that. That's messed up. Yeah, but
let
anyway,
your kids be kids, dude.
for sure.
Like,
and then there's other parents on there that are, like, extreme parenting to the core, like tennis lessons, violin lessons, piano lessons, extreme academics, and these kids are like 5 years old.
Yeah,
and you're just like, dude, what are you doing?
No, thank you.
So find a balance. I mean, love your kids, but, like, let them be kids.
Yeah. So we were going to talk about that show. I think that's one way that we get peace, me and you. Like, we're tired at the end of the day. Like, we don't want to do anything other than you have me rub your shoulders.
Yeah, I do. I'm not even shy about it. I'm like, please, please, please. Dear God, help me, please.
Yeah. I need my back rubbed tonight. Just so you know.
All right.
I'm on a 20-day streak of running, so
yeah, it must be nice.
Pretty proud of myself.
I'm on a streak of drinking beer and eating cake.
Hey, there you go.
Good God, look at this. This is like.
All right. So yeah, the show that we started last night, which it's been on my radar for a long time. I just didn't know it was like in your realm whatsoever.
You don't know until you ask.
because we've binged a few shows. Like we binged the vampire show. What was it called?
What We Do in Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows.
In the Shadows. Yeah. So funny.
So good.
So funny.
But we're done with it. Like
yeah.
we're done. And then we binged the MLM one, which is called.
Oh. On Being a God in Central Florida.
Yes.
Which supposedly they're coming out with another season. I really
that
hope
show
that's
is
true.
so good.
Yeah. Ozarks.
Ozarks. We're done.
So many.
Game of Thrones.
We have not touched
done.
Schitt's Creek yet. Lorenzo's hesitant, so
I mean, I watched
down,
the first episode, and I'm like, I don't know, the characters aren't selling me quite yet.
It gets way better.
So maybe I will. But this show's been on my radar for a while. I guess we should get into what are we listening to? Is that where we are? Are we there? Are you ready to wrap?
I guess we're there.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Thrift Town is having like 50% off right now.
All right. Well, it's already dinner time, actually.
Well, I mean, we can have a little dinner.
So, Lindsay, what are you listening to?
Oh, this question is such a surprise to me. I didn't even see this coming.
Yeah, this is the last part of our show. So yeah, I answer for you. That's okay. No, Alone. It's called Alone. It's been on my radar. I've been wanting to watch it. Basically, what the show is about is, so there's 10, I guess, contestants. It's a reality show. It's on Netflix. And basically, they drop these 10 individuals off. They're from all over the country. They drop them off in the Arctic Circle.
Hell no.
And we are on episode 1. Mm-hmm. But from what I've gathered is like they have to be there for at least a couple of months, 2-3 months maybe.
I honestly wonder if it's just however long they can go before they're the only one.
Yeah, just see who outlasts. Like
right. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know that they know how long they're going to be out there. Like,
so
like it's just like the last man standing. They like show up with the helicopter like, you won.
So 10 people.
Guys, like it's been 87 years.
Mm-hmm. Different ages, like men and women from different backgrounds, different walks of life. And they drop them off on the Arctic Circle, and they get to have 10 items. Each of them get to have 10 items, and they have to just survive. And whoever's the longest lasting wins like $500,000 or something.
Mm-hmm. It's $500,000.
It's good so far.
It is good
so far. First episode.
It's terrifying. Like for someone like me who's like, I'll camp in a trailer, or maybe a cabin. That'd be cool. Mm-hmm. I cannot imagine, not even just the like actual like living situation of having to find shelter and make fire and make shelter and food and all this stuff, like being alone for that long would
I mean, that's
me.
the show, right? That's your psyche. Can you imagine just being separated from people?
Yeah, and that's the thing. You're even starting to see a little bit of it. And in the show, we're on episode 2 right now. Mm-hmm. But I think so far they've calculated like it's like 2 weeks maybe or a week. And even within a week, you can start to see these people's, like, I don't want to say mental flaws, but they're talking to themselves and they're like...
Right. Well, they have a camera with them.
They have a camera. No, I know. But it's like you can see their mental, like, process happening.
Yeah.
And some of these people, I'm like, they might have, like, they might have survival skills, but I don't know if their mental capacity is going to hold up. Huh. You know what I mean? Like, they might be able to make a fire and stuff, but I don't know if mentally they're going to be able to get through it.
That could be a cool, like, YouTube... idea for me and you.
I'm not going out to the wilderness.
No, like maybe just like I'll set up the trailer somewhere.
Oh God, no!
And we'll just go 24 hours. Like 24 hours, you have a camera, and you just need to record like what you need to record. Like
you're gonna drop me off in the middle of the wilderness with a camera and a trailer?
No, you'll have all of your needs. But like, could you imagine not talking to a single person other than like a camera for 24 hours straight?
I'm a mom. Yes, I can. I would sleep.
But kids, you can imagine it. When's the last time you didn't talk to somebody for 24 hours straight? There was one day.
Panama maybe, but that was like a long time ago.
Yeah. I went one day without saying a single word. Mm-hmm. And I was in college, and I remember like I went to class, I went to school, I didn't say anything, I just did my thing. And it was weird. Like I was like 2/3 through the day, and I was thinking to myself, I haven't spoken a word today. I haven't said anything, and it was a little bit scary. Yeah, and I thought like, well, do I keep this streak going?
But you're a journal writer, so I feel like that would be your sanity.
Well, I have a constant like inner dialogue going.
Right.
Like it never stops.
Right. See, for me, it would be music. If I didn't have music, that would drive me crazy. If I had music, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
Like, I would need music. I could be fine without TV, but if I didn't have music, I would lose my fucking mind because I don't like silence. Like, I don't like not having background noise. I don't like having just quiet. It kind of scares me. Like, even if I'm home alone and you guys are gone somewhere, I will turn on the radio, the TV, I'll listen to a podcast. I don't like the sound of being alone.
Yeah.
That would bug me. Even when I take a bath to relax, I'm listening to something.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I don't know. I think having some peace would be pretty interesting. Maybe we should, I don't know, maybe one of these days.
Maybe
one of these days if we ended up relocating somewhere. We'll see.
Yeah.
What else are you listening to? You watch Bar Rescue every single day.
I love Bar. You guys, I'm on a Bar Rescue binge right now. I'm backlogging all the seasons and I'm watching them because John Taffer is my favorite person other than Gordon Ramsay.
Shut it down.
I like people that yell at other people and like call bullshit on their bullshit. That's pretty much what I like. I'm like, yeah, yell at him. He's an idiot. Like,
get him, John.
I don't know. I like John Taffer though because you can tell he cares about people, but he's also like not going to be like lied to. Like, he's just not going to put up with people's shit. And he definitely doesn't put up with excuses, and that's what I love.
Yeah.
Like, people be like, well, I would have, but he's like, that's a load of crap. You're just like, it is.
That's like his tagline, right? Shut it down.
Shut it down. Yeah, he's my favorite. So, yes, I love a good Bar Rescue binge. I think you can watch all seasons on YouTube TV right now, which is great.
Yeah.
So I've been slowly rewatching like all of them.
He was in New Mexico recently.
He was in New Mexico recently, and I actually, you guys,
in that bar, like they didn't. I guess you said they didn't heed his advice.
No. Hold on. There were two bars.
Okay.
One of them was what was formerly known as Sneakers, and then they changed it to like
RIP. Like beach on the beach. Or
on
something.
the beach or something. Volleyball. I don't know. So anyway, those guys were total assholes.
Sands.
Yeah, something like that. It's on like San Mateo and Montgomery.
Yeah.
That was where I had my first drink when I turned 21. But anyway, yeah, so he went there, turned it around, and the owners basically were like, we're not doing that. Like, we just went back to normal. And then it was like shut down and they went bankrupt. Big surprise. The other one was a bowling alley down in the North Valley. It was Lucky 66 Bowl, which I think the people were like, it's kind of sad because I think they were really financially in the hole. And then John Taffer came and revamped it. And then I think COVID hit. So they didn't have a chance to like really earn that money back.
Hopefully.
It's for sale now.
Oh, is it?
It's fully equipped and fully outfitted. It's for sale.
And like I wonder if they get a little bit of money from the network to like do the things that they need to do. I mean, that'd be kind of nice, but
yeah, it used to be the like 66 Bowl down off of like 4th Street.
No, I used to live right there, and me and one of the friends that introduced me to you, actually, we would go there because they had like 350 pitchers.
Yeah.
And they had karaoke and they had bowling. So and it was walking distance. So we just did what college people did and
drink till you drown. Maybe throw some balls, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's sad because that one, the guy was a veteran and you really did want it to succeed. Like, but I honestly think it was just timing. Like it because it literally was right after COVID hit. So I don't think they had a chance to really try. The other one that was here in New Mexico was pretty interesting. It was a VFW. It was one of the oldest VFW posts in the city. Oh. And so what he did is he went in and he outfitted it and made it more functional. And that one, like, I was just like, oh my gosh, New Mexico. So I wrote a letter to the network.
Of course you did.
I was like, Dear John Taffer,
first of all, I love you so
much. First of all, I love you. Please don't yell at me.
Shut it down.
I'm all shut what down? No, but like I just told him basically in the letter and they responded. It was really cool. I basically said just like, thank you for doing that for the VFW. That was really appreciated. I was like, New Mexico doesn't have a lot of things that we can honestly say that we are allowed to be proud of. Yeah. And so you coming here and taking the time to do that and give these people something to be proud of is a big deal. And so I just thank you, because I think it's important. Yeah, he's a professional. He's on TV, whatever. Yeah. This is his job. But I also think that, he probably gets a lot of thank yous from people that are getting something from him. Right. I think it'd be rare that you would get a thank you from somebody who's just like, hey, that's good work you're doing, Right. And so I just wanted to say like, hey, thanks. You did a good thing. And I think people need that sometimes. Even John Taffer, when he yells to shut it down. So they replied and they were like, we let Mr. Taffer know and we appreciate your letter and blah, blah. I mean, they probably didn't. I don't know. But it was cool anyway. So yes, I've been watching Bar Rescue to wrap that up. I've also been looking at old episodes of things. I like TV documentaries, like mini segments, like 48 Hours and 2020. So I've been into this whole Our America thing with Lisa Ling. It's a whole series. So they have different episodes. Like one of them is called The Lost American Dream. There's Life on the Res. That one was really good. I actually started crying. It was crazy. Wow. Twin Lives, Lives of Twins, Modern Polygamy.
This is all on YouTube? Mm-hmm. It's all the same channel?
Yeah. And then, the Extreme Parenting one too. I've just been watching those because they're interesting. Incarceration Generation. I mean, they talk about issues like trailer park community living. Wow. They're just issues that are like, that affect our America.
Right.
And I don't know. It's an interesting take. And I really like Lisa Ling, actually, as a reporter. Because
I don't know who she is.
She's very non-confrontational, and she's very open-minded.
So she's a journalist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's very... she's just very approachable to people. Like, the way she approaches people...
What network is she? CNN? Okay, CNN.
Yeah, she's not judgy. She doesn't come off as like, she's not like a tiger, like how some reporters will go in and they'll try to like make people, they'll be like, but what about this? Yeah. Well, I think you're wrong. Or like, they make people feel uncomfortable. She doesn't do that. She just genuinely like comes from a perspective of like, hey, I want to learn more about this. Like, educate me.
Oh, yeah, it's cool.
And I love that. So
I'm sorry. I was thinking about that scene in Zoolander where Zoolander was like, you're an investigatory journalist to, I don't know, the quote. You know what I'm talking about, though. So what kind of music you listening to?
I've been listening to Showiwan Dumern. Yeah, I know. I said that out loud. It's probably wrong. It's a Thai musician from Thailand. Here, listen. Hold on. Let's just give it a second. It's an album called The Sounds of Siam. Jazz in Thailand. It's literally like Thai and Siamese like jazz, honestly. The Avalanches have a new album. I've been listening to that quite a bit. I cannot get away from Glass Animals as much as I try. Louis Del Mar has a new album. Been listening to that one quite a bit. Codaline, the band Codaline. There's a song called All I Want. Oh, where's the other one? I'm trying to find it. I kind of went back to the War on Drugs a little bit this week. The music, not the actual War on Drugs. The War on Drugs is bullshit anyway, but let's not talk about that here. Yeah, I mean, that's really it. I've kind of just been listening to the same things. Like, as much as I would love to say I've been doing more, I really haven't. Tame Impala, always. Magic City Hippies. Eyes on the Shore is a band I like. Yeah. If you want to check that out, there's a song called Washed Away. And another one called Starting Fires that's really good. Yeah, that's really it right now. I haven't done a whole lot of... I was listening to a little bit of The Runaways the other day, which is kind of out of my normal genre, but I like it. Okay. There's a song called Cherry Bomb. It's old punk. Okay. So that's it, really. Cool. And then, podcasts. Sorry. I'm just going to keep going here since we're on a roll. Obviously, I've been listening to Dos Buqueños.
Yeah. A Burlesque Podcasters Guild podcast.
That's right.
Dos Buqueños with Eric
Cardelandine and Alex. Mm-hmm. It's ghost stories that are based in New Mexico, but the commentary is funny as shit. I literally I just laugh like the whole time because the back and forth is hilarious, and then the ghost stories are good, and I love it. So Dos Buqueños, SPOOKQUENYOS. That's the N with the little thing on it above it.
A little squiggly, but you could probably get away with just typing a regular N. We'll link Dos Pequeños in our show
Do
notes.
it. I also like this podcast. Oh, I have one on my list that I haven't heard yet, but it's on my list. It's called Moms and Murder.
Okay.
Moms and Murder podcast. Gonna check it.
All right.
Gonna check it. And then there's another one called Curiosities and Cocktails,
Ooh.
which is pretty good. And then of course the True Consequences podcast.
Also a Burles Podcasters Guild podcast. Yeah. Also Eric Cardellini.
Yeah. Eric's my home slice, and he makes some good podcasts also.
Yeah.
Listen to them.
Do it.
Give them a thumbs up, like them, give them 5 stars because they're amazing.
Go to Apple Podcasts and give them 5 stars, and give us some love too.
We could use some reviews. I think we've been kind of lax about that, but
yeah, we don't really like promote or go out there, and there's not a lot of effort in the marketing of ours. We have a good Instagram, I think, where we post some funny things. At least you do.
Sometimes it's kind of mean, but
yeah.
I mean,
there was a penis on the last post you did.
I mean, not a real one. It was a cartoon penis, but yeah, it was like, you know, it was a meme. It was a meme penis.
A meme. Yeah. It was the mask one where like when your nose is hanging out of your mask, it's like when you put your underwear with your penis hanging out the top.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the same idea, right? Like put your mask on.
Yeah.
Wear your undies the right way. Put those chonies on. Yeah. Put on your face chonies. Do it exactly. Right. Yeah. So anyway, Lorenzo, what are you listening to?
Yeah, so I've been listening to a lot of music because I've been running, and I love to listen to music when I run. I don't know, like some people when they exercise, they like to listen to podcasts or audiobooks. I cannot do that because my brain is in this like halfway sort of dream state when I'm running, and I get the chance to sort of like let my like thoughts sort of marinate and process.
Can I say something? I interviewed a hypnotherapist on the What's a BBQ podcast, and he was saying when you're exercising, your brain is in that state that is considered almost a hypnotic state.
Yeah. And also when you're in the shower. There's a Reddit page called Shower Thoughts.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you're taking a shower, like you don't have to dedicate a lot of like brain energy towards washing your hair, right? So that's when your mind starts to wander and you like have these different thoughts, and it's the same thing when you're exercising. So I don't want my brain to like focus on like the plot of a story, or like I don't want to focus on facts of a podcast. So I my mind wanders and I have thoughts, but music is okay. Like I can get away with like listening to music and having thoughts. In fact, so there have been times when like music has played. It's been on my playlist. It's playing when I'm running, and I almost get to this like state of euphoria, like a state of worship, like just to like I mean, this sounds super weird, but like
say it. I love weird.
Like there was this "Me Without You" song that was playing, and I'm sure like people have said this before, but it was just this instrumental, and it was just like so beautifully arranged and it's like poetic. And I was like, and then like the sun was setting and I'm like getting exercise and I'm sweating and like I just like felt like I needed to just cry. It was so crazy.
No, Me Without You is like a band that does that to people.
But like everything was like meeting in this area where it was just perfect, and I'm just like, God is in all things right now. And it was beautiful, and it was like almost supernatural. It was crazy.
For sure.
But yeah, so I listen to a lot of music.
What?
Nothing. I was just like talking about what I'm listening to, and I'm like, I go into this.
It's okay.
Totally thing. But no, I've been trying to kind of shake it up and listen to full albums from front to back. Instead of just letting the Google algorithm tell me what I should listen to, which is easy, right? It's easy for like computers to say like, oh, you like this, listen to this. And most of the time they're right. But I wanted to go back to like the old school roots and just like listen to a record from beginning to end, how the musicians would like that music to be consumed.
Right.
So I listened to one album today. It was Neck Deep, which is a British pop punk band. And And let me see here. I'm going to try to find out what the album is called. I don't know what the album's called. They have a song on the album called Sick Joke. The album cover's red and has this like sphere that's kind of, I don't know, it's a blue sphere that's kind of curled, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I listened to that. And then when I put away laundry, I listened to podcasts. And the podcast that I've been sort of slowly creeping through is a Wonderly podcast called Guru.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
And I've been listening to it for a long time, and I'm kind of taking my time on it. I don't want to rush through it, but I'm on the like second to last episode. It's about this self-help, I guess, guru who was brought into fame by, I mean, Oprah is like the person who really launched this guy into like the spotlight. But he's been doing self-help for, I don't know, decades. But anyway, like if you know anything about James Arthur Ray, he had a couple of like really famous books. Some of his teachings, I guess, were like in the book called The Secret, which I'm sure you've seen.
Well, that book was what Oprah used to launch his career, basically. Right. And I remember people talking about this book when it came out. I remember it being like on the hype list. If Oprah touches something, you can kind of guarantee it's gonna go viral, which is good and bad, I guess, for whoever it is. I mean, because there's been some oopsies along the way. Like Dr. Oz, not a real doctor, guys.
Dr. Phil either.
Yeah, I know, Dr. Phil.
I mean, you listen to his podcast.
Oh, shit. You know what? I do. I haven't even looked at that in a while. I can't stand his voice, but his
Phil,
content.
Dr. Oz. Who else did Oprah like launch?
A few people.
Tony Robbins? No, Tony Robbins did his own thing, I think.
I'm not sure. Same vein,
Tony
though.
Robbins has been around for a long time.
Yeah, he has. Ever since Shallow Hal.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Banana hands. So yeah, do you remember that? Yeah, so...
Have you seen that video, My Hands Are Bananas?
I have not.
It's like a German video. We're going to link that in the show notes.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. I'll find it. You guys, holy shit. Okay.
You need to text it to me.
All right.
So,
it's a college favorite.
So yeah, this guy, James Arthur Ray, he's a self-help person. He gets these people to invest like thousands of dollars. I mean, I'm not even going to use the word invest. Like he gets people to, it's bad. Like he gets them to give him thousands of dollars. And he takes them on retreats. On a retreat, I think 4 people died.
Yeah.
And he basically did not own up to it. And then he went to jail for a short amount of time. I mean, I'm basically giving away the whole podcast. Listen to the podcast. It's good.
It's some fucked up pseudoscience. Yeah. And you're like, how could this happen? How could this even, this happen?
But you know what? Like some of the things he says, I'm like, wow. Like even, I know he's full of shit, but I'm like, wow, like I can resonate with that.
People. No,
I'm like, yes.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyways, yeah, listen to the podcast. It's good. And then the other podcasts I've been listening to, let me see here. Riveting. As I get to my podcast. No, the other podcasts I've been listening to, I listen to my Carrera podcast, like when I'm showering. It's kind of a podcast that I love just hearing his guests.
Don't make this weird.
I mean, whatever. I shower with my clothes on, so you don't have to imagine anything. Carry the Fire with Dustin Kensrue. And I just added a podcast called Smoke Screen Fake Priest because the trailer sounded really cool. It's like this, the trailer was talking about how this priest basically wasn't a priest and he gained people's trust using religion and it ended up like killing a lot of people.
Yeah.
What the fuck, which is awful. But I'm gonna check that out. And then the other podcast I am pretty consistent with is No Stupid Questions. It's a Freakonomics podcast with the host is called, what is her name? It's something Duckworth. Her name is Angela Duckworth, and then Stephen Dubner.
You remember Kevin Duckworth?
No.
He was the Portland Trailblazer. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember him. Yeah. So that's it. That's what I've been listening to.
He just popped into my mind just now, but there he is. Kevin Duckworth.
PDX.
Shout out.
PDX.
I'm gonna find show notes. We're gonna put a little picture of Kevin Duckworth on there for your fun and fancy.
Maybe we will. All right, y'all. Do you have anything else?
I do not.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for being my podcasting partner in crime.
Hold on. It just said Kevin Duckworth murder.
What?
What? Oh, death? Oh my gosh, no way. He's dead? That's sad. I didn't even know that.
When did he die? 2008?
He died in Lincoln Beach, Oregon. Yeah, 2008. I had no idea.
Wow.
Rip Kevin Duckworth. I always liked watching you play.
Old school PDX.
Yeah, man. What a bummer.
Rip City.
Rip City. And also Rip City.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well,
That's sad.
on that note,
Shit.
I mean, I think the Blazers are still in the playoffs, aren't they? I don't know.
I'm trying to get over this right now, and you're not helping me.
Sorry.
This is hard for me to handle. I didn't... remembering Kevin Duckworth.
Yeah.
We'll link that, you guys. You can remember him on your own.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Put him on your ofrenda.
That's right.
All right, y'all. Hope you have a fantastic week. Stay tenacious. Stick with it.
Don't murder people.
Don't murder people. Don't murder your spouse. Give your spouse grace. Give them empathy and understand that they might be having a hard time.
And show your city some love.
Show your city some love, wherever that might be.
Pick up trash, guys.
Pick up some trash, wherever you are.
Don't be the trash.
And if the city that you're in right now is not your city, then look for another city.
But show that city some love, too.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one.